4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
Who says vaping is safer than cigarettes? Science does not support that belief. Vapes can contain a variety of chemicals, flavoring agents, cancer-causing elements, and other harmful substances. High levels of nicotine in some vapes can be more likely to lead to addiction, and chemical ingredients are not always listed accurately on vaping packages. Vaping can also damage your DNA, your heart, your lungs, and even your smile. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
Now more than ever, we're the station you can trust for the information you need. KDKA.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's 58 degrees and raining at 11 o'clock. I'm David Ballarado. A rally is scheduled for this Mother's Day afternoon on the South Side to call for paid family leave for all workers in Allegheny County. One of the organizers, UPMC McGee neonatal nurse Lucy Ruscio, says they're willing to be flexible on how that would work.
So we're asking the county government to pass legislation. We're still working with them and with the community to get the exact details of what's going to work best for Allegheny County. So there'll be a lot of opportunities for community input, and we're really looking forward to that.
They plan to head into the community to gather signatures after the 1 p.m. rally at the office of Pittsburgh Federation of Teachers Local 400. The impact of last month's big freeze is being felt by farmers all over Pennsylvania after overnight lows in the teens left behind widespread crop damage. Governor Shapiro is asking the federal government for a disaster declaration so affected farmers can get crop insurance protection. And he's working with the state government to use part of the $75 million in the avian flu fund to help.
We're going to fight to make sure that all of this gets done. The USDA disaster declaration, the direct support from the feds, the direct support from the state. We're going to work together to get all this done, and we'll be back, Corey, and we'll be stronger than ever.
He's speaking to Cherry Hill Orchards owner Corey McLeaf, who has lost almost all of his apple and peach crops for this year. Iran has sent its response to the latest U.S. ceasefire proposal to Pakistani mediators and wants negotiations to focus on permanently ending the war. That's what Iran's state-run media said today. State TV said Iran seeks to end the war on all fronts, including in Lebanon, and ensure the security of shipping. Washington's latest proposal had addressed a deal to end the war, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, and roll back Iran's nuclear program, an issue that Tehran would rather discuss later. No immediate comment from the White House about Iran's reply, but the AP's Lisa Dwyer reports on another drone strike on a ship.
While President Donald Trump works to keep negotiations with Iran on track, the shaky ceasefire with Iran was tested again when a drone caused a small fire on a ship off the coast of Qatar. The United Arab Emirates and Kuwait also reported drones entering their airspace as well. One of the main sticking points in the negotiations is the fate of Iran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium. The UN Nuclear Agency says Iran has more than 970 pounds of uranium that is enriched up to 60% purity, a short technical step away from weapons-grade levels. In an interview with Iranian state media, a spokesman for the Iranian military
جنگ وارد عرصه‌هایی خواهد شد که دشمن
says that Iran's forces were on full readiness to protect nuclear sites where that uranium is stored. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
And as the war with Iran continues to cause oil and gas prices to rise as the Strait of Hormuz remains closed, on CBS's Face the Nation, Energy Secretary Chris Wright spoke about the trade-off of high gasoline prices.
Ending the Iran nuclear program is a tough challenge, as you're rightfully pointing out. Is there short-term dislocation from that? Absolutely. But we need to make that trade-off, or we have a long-term threat to peace in the region, long-term threat to energy supplies, long-term threat to Americans.
KDKA Sports coming off a 4-hit game from Nick Gonzalez. The Pirates look to keep rolling today in San Francisco. Bubba Chandler gets the start for the Bucks against Tyler Mall and a struggling Giants squad. First pitch is set for 4:05 Eastern. It's 11:03. Time to visit RomeMonuments.com. Life is a journey to remember. Memorialize that journey. RomeMonuments.com. The AccuWeather forecast is next.
This is Greg Trusinski from the Original Mattress Factory. I want to share the story of a couple I worked with recently. After receiving a quote from a competitor for a mattress, they visited OMF and found a mattress that was a great fit for them. They were so pleased with our quality and value that they ended up purchasing 2 mattresses, a box spring, headboard, and frame. Their total at OMF was roughly $400 less than what they would have spent on just the one mattress at the competitor. If you're ready to get better sleep for less, visit us at originalmattress.com.
Life's best moments start with perfect choices. For Connie Nowak, it was a trolley ride and a 67-year love story. A life of family, smart decisions, and companionship with Chester the cat. Her retirement choice? The Village at St. Barnabas. Recreation, healthcare, close to family, everything on her list. Right now, we'll make your move to the Village perfect too. Up to $2,000 toward moving costs. St. Barnabas Retirement Communities, stbarnabascommunities.com, or call 724-444-5568.
Shopping for replacement windows? Metropolitan Window Company elevates your shopping experience.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you'll experience personalized knowledge, expertise, and professionalism from our first visit to your home until our craftsmen complete your installation.
We're the window company that people want in their homes, and our exclusive Infinity by Marvin 100% fiberglass windows are the windows people love.
They're built for life. They are the strongest, longest-lasting windows you can buy.
And we have a great selection of colors and finishes. Experience Metropolitan Window Company. Stop by our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
The Pittsburgh Speaker Series at Heinz Hall, presented by University of Pittsburgh, announces its 26-27 season. 7 evenings to deepen your understanding of the world around you, featuring Anderson Cooper, former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, financial journalist Andrew Ross Sorkin, former NASA Administrator Charles Bolden, and the former U.S. Ambassador to China Nicholas Burns. The series is sponsored by News Radio KDKA and the Spanos Group of Raymond James. Tickets on sale now at pittsburghspeakers.org.
Who says vaping is safer than cigarettes? Science does not support that belief. Vapes can contain a variety of chemicals, flavoring agents, cancer-causing elements, and other harmful substances. High levels of nicotine in some vapes can be more likely to lead to addiction, and chemical ingredients are not always listed accurately on vaping packages. Vaping can also damage your DNA, your heart, your lungs, and even your smile. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
For the rest of this Mother's Day afternoon, clouds with breaks of sun, high 64 degrees. And for tonight, becoming mostly cloudy, low 41. Tomorrow, partly sunny. Cool for May, a high of just 61 degrees. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Buns, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and more.
I got to tell you, first person I thought of was Joe Giordano when I heard of the passing of Bobby Cox. Not just because he's a baseball fan, but I knew I'd have somebody here to talk about him right off the top, and we're going to do that. But, you know, we like to spread the wealth when it comes to athletics, and one of the things that Mr. Diolis and I love is softball. And I saw a little bit of the game yesterday in which a player from UCLA set a pretty impressive record. So before we talk Bobby Cox and our beloved Pirates who put up 20 hits yesterday and beat the Giants again yesterday, please tell them, Greg, about what this exceptional athlete did representing the UCLA Bruins. Go ahead.
That would be Megan Grant, the slugger from UCLA, who hit her 38th home run in a single season yesterday to become the single season all-time leader in the NCAA Division I, even though the UCLA Bruins lost to the Nebraska Cornhuskers yesterday 7-2 in the Big Ten tournament.
All right, good stuff. Now, here's where we go as far as page one with Joe Giordano, who joins us now, Metropolitan Window video screen, of course, KDKRadio.com, KDK Watch, and, of course, part of that IMG Academy. Hall of Fame 2014. Bobby Cox finished a legendary 29-season managerial career 2,504 wins, 2,001 losses, and a .556 winning percentage, ranking fourth all-time in MLB wins. He led the Atlanta Braves to 15 division titles, I think 14 straight, 5 pennants, and a 1995 World Series championship. And Cox set the all-time record for managerial ejections, just like a regular season, 162. Now, as a player, he played third base for the New York Yankees. This is something I didn't know. For a couple of years and a cup of coffee, batting average over those 2 years, 68 and 69, 225. Wore his medal spikes up until the very end. I just got done exchanging messages with the guy that did battle with him on a regular basis, our own Jim Leland. And if he wasn't at a Mother's Day brunch, he would be joining us. I've also reached out to Rich Donnelly to talk about Bobby Cox at the bottom of the hour. Former coach with Jim Leland, but we've got the former Panther coach here right now, Joe Giordano. He was a great manager, Bobby Cox. Joe, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, sad news for sure. I read an article, and as you know, another person that owned the Braves and CNN, Ted Turner, passed this week. And I read a quote from Ted Turner saying that after I fired Bobby Cox, wanted to hire that was just like Bob Cox, and then he went back. It was kind of interesting that, he did so many good things. He was fun to watch. He was fiery. Brings a smile to my face for sure. He loved to argue and argued. He went all in. There was no doubt about that. There was no halfway. Which led to those 162 ejections. And I'm sure there probably were a few more in there that guy just said, okay, just let him vent. But what a great skipper. And the players loved him. I was talking to a friend of mine that used to play for the Red Sox initially. Then he got traded to the Braves, and he had a couple of interactions with a skipper, and he said he was just a brilliant guy, really down to earth, welcomed him in. Pretty cool.
Greg, before real quick.
He's a good baseball man.
Yeah, no doubt, Skip. Before Greg jumps in here, I mean, I got to think that was the best starting rotation I've ever witnessed in my life, and I've seen some good ones, but Smoltz and Glavine,
yes.
And Maddox, he had some firepower, did he not, Greg?
Yeah, and that was the days they ruined a lot of Pirates celebrations in the early '90s. The dirty louts, even though Sid Bream's leg still was up in the air when Lavalier tagged him, and he was out at home plate. But that's beside the point. And I'll take that one to my grave, as who was it? Herb Brooks said in the Olympics. But Joe, one of the things that was so intriguing about Bobby Cox, like you talked about, he would get run from games, and I think he would strategically get run to kind of light a fire under his team and get the crowd going. I'd like to do some research on it, which one of the things I learned in law school was don't ask a question unless you know the answer, but I don't know this answer. How many times he got run in home games as opposed to on the road, and whether or not he was just trying to ignite the crowd on some of those times. I'm sure he was. I don't think, most managers, when they get kicked out of games, there's some strategy behind it. They're not just out there just venting.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, there are times where, there's that critical point in the game. Your team's battling back, and you have some momentum or gaining momentum, and then all of a sudden you get a lousy call, and it's kind of that feeling in the dugout like, my goodness, we had a chance to win this, and they're taking it away from us. And that's when the skipper's got to go out there and fight for his team and show that he believes that even without the skipper, you can get the job done. I've done that several times. I think I might be, Counselor, pushing 162 games rejections.
That's a whole baseball season, man.
All right, listen, we'll do more on Bobby Cox coming up, but he will be missed. And he managed up until his 70th year on this earth, so he was one of my all-time favorites. And Ted Turner, I've done many tributes, and it's kind of ironic that they died days apart. Both Mavericks, for sure, and both will be missed. And I don't think we'll ever see the likes of Can definitely said Ted Turner in my lifetime for sure. A lot of respect for that guy. All right, so the Pirates, 20 hits. Pitching has been great, and they're starting to do some big things on the road. Very pleasantly surprised, or is this the Pirates that we all expected that we're witnessing right now? Joe Giordano.
Well, I think, again, when we looked at and talked about in the preseason leading up to opening day, there were a lot of things that we talked about, and that was productivity up and down through the lineup, the steadiness and consistency in starting pitching, taking care of the baseball, running the bases well, which I still think they need to work on that a little bit, and having a solid bullpen. And if you look at it, again, that's a very basic formula for any team to follow in order to be successful. And that's what they're doing. It's just that they have people in the lineup, players in the lineup, pitchers on the bump that are doing exactly those things.
All right, let's get a break in here. Joe Giordano, more about our Pirates. He, of course, IMG Academy, joining us from Florida, and he's in the Metropolitan Window video screen. You can hear it and see it stream live, kdkradio.com, our YouTube page, the Odyssey app, a free app, download it on your phone, AUDACY, and, of course, the traditional way, KDKA 100.1 FM, AM 1020.
Your source for the AccuWeather forecast. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
Hey folks, my friends at NASCO Roofing take pride in exceeding customer expectations. Joe from Pittsburgh loved the excellent work NASCO did on replacing his roof and gutters. It was a big job that NASCO completed in just 2 days with excellent attention to every detail. Joe was also impressed with NASCO's cleanup that left his home spotless. NASCO has thousands of customers that are satisfied like Joe. Get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO 412-373-2000. 412-373-2000. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing. NASCO.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
In 1945, my grandparents made sausage using the finest ingredients and a lot of love. I'm Ernie Ritchie. After 80 years, the recipe never changed. Visit our store and celebrate our 80th anniversary. Ritchie's Italian Sausage. It's what Pittsburgh eats since 1945.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, let's get into the Pittsburgh Pirates. Today they're going to wrap up that series in the City by the Bay, and then they come back home for a couple of games. Really looking forward to that, including Philadelphia. So some really exciting stuff. 1-800-BUY-BUCKS. Paul Skeens, does he ever cease to not amaze you? Joe Giordano. Joe.
That was a phenomenal performance. And, when he has that off game, everybody starts scratching their head, but he always follows it up with a gem. And if I had an opportunity to watch that game, it just complete domination and command of the zone, the tempo, the intensity. It's just so enjoyable to watch from a pure baseball perspective and pitching perspective. He's an amazing arm. There's nothing more we can say. I mean, they have a chance. Every time he's on the bump, we got a chance to win.
Go ahead, Greg.
Joe, I love the way you put that because in most cases in which your team's involved in a one to nothing type game, you're on the edge of your seat the whole time. But you almost felt like Skeens was on cruise control and feeling like he could do whatever he needed. But they've had some good outings from some other guys that have picked him up a little bit. But one of the things with this most recent game as an exception, they've been scoring runs for him, which has given him an opportunity to feel a little more comfortable.
As we talked about again in the preseason, the big thing was when you are scoring runs and you have a capacity lineup to score runs 1 through 9, it definitely helps the pitcher. He knows that he doesn't have to throw a shutout in order to win a game.
Yeah.
So certainly that's going to give him some more confidence, knowing that, all right, I maybe made a bad pitch or pitch I'd like to take back, but my boys got me covered offensively, and they're gonna create some runs for us, and I just got to bear down and keep pitching. That's a big factor. There's no doubt about it.
I may be taking you guys down a rabbit hole you don't necessarily want to go, but this Ashcraft kid has actually
another nice
been
performance.
Dominant in a fashion that we we saw a little glimpse of him last year. We're like, this kid's going to be pretty good, but we didn't realize, and I think that he was maybe behind Burroughs when we were thinking about who's going to be the next kind of guy up. We were thinking it was going to be Burroughs, and then they traded Burroughs, which turns out to be a great trade to pick up what they got. So it's been really a very fortunate situation to set them up with Ashcraft being what he's been able to do.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. Spencer Horowitz actually was saying, as I was watching some of the postgame early this morning here at work, when he looked up, he thought he had a whole lot more in the way of wins than he has. So he pitched a really nice game yesterday. So what about this young man, Joe Giordano, back in the center square with us? Go ahead, Joe.
Sorry about that. I got a phone call from home.
That's okay.
And happy Mother's Day to everybody, by the way.
Absolutely.
But I really enjoyed watching him pitch the other day as well. And, listen, if you take the names off the back of a jersey, think about it this way. If you got 2 of your pitches working for strikes, and on one, if you have a third pitch on a game, I would tell my staff, if I got a pitcher that's commanding 3 pitches in a game, give me a cup of coffee. I'm going to sit here. We score a run or 2, and we're going to win it. Because there's not many times that a pitcher's going to be on 3 pitches throughout the course of a game. It's difficult to do. And so, again, if you take the names off and they're executing pitches and they got a couple really good ones working and they add the third one, look out. I mean, it doesn't matter what your name is, you're going to be successful. You're going to give your team a chance to win. And that's what the Buccos are doing.
Joe, it's funny you talk about having a command of multiple pitches, and back to Skeens. If you recall, there was maybe 3 outings ago, he decided that he was going to use virtually just his changeup, and he threw something like 37 changeups or some crazy number like that, which is not his main pitch, but you could tell that it was almost like he was toying with the opponent and basically saying, well, tonight's going to be my changeup game, and that's all I'm going to throw tonight. And as a fan, you're frustrated. Why is he throwing another change? Just blow the ball by this guy. But it was almost like he wanted to toy with these guys. He's like a big cat playing with a little mouse.
Well, listen, the most important thing is weak ground balls, swing and misses, pop-ups, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's always by getting the guy out in front of himself. And that's the changeup. It's the best pitch in baseball. Besides, that 100-mile-an-hour fastball, that's pretty good too. But the changeup just completely disrupts timing. Isaac Madsen, my guy, very, very good changeup. Greg Maddux, we're talking about the Braves before.
The best.
Phenomenal changeup. Pedro Martinez. You go on and on. The best of the best always had a quality changeup.
How about these 3 players, then we'll let you go, Joe, and enjoy some of that Florida sunshine. How about Brandon Lau, what he's done?
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And Nick Gonzalez, who we were all in on, especially you, he's hitting over 400 since April 19th. And Joey Bart, all of a sudden, we were ready to say, okay, Henry Davis, it's all yours. He's, 290 or something. He had a nice game yesterday, too. So he and Henry Davis now splitting duty at the catching position. Those three players, Greg.
Well, Joe, that's one of the good things about still being early in the season. You have a 4-for-4 day, and your average gets juiced up in a hurry. So it's not like
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Because the same thing happened with Connor Griffin a couple weeks ago, or 10 days ago, when his average all of a sudden
got a single yesterday again, too. And a sacrifice, playing good in the field. Come on.
Oh, he's really playing well in the field, and that's one of the things that is a little bit overlooked. But that diving play he made the other day was ridiculous. And you know, when you got the wingspan that he does and the quickness, that guy can cover a lot of ground, Joe.
He's incredible. He's fun to watch. You know, again, he's one of those guys that, you know, he's going to go through the entire season and you're going to say, man, he was really good. But when you break it down at the end of the year and look at each different category, you're going to say the Bucks were a different team with him in that lineup. No doubt about it.
And it looks like he scored a run. He scored from second base the other day, and he was going to be safe by about 100 feet, and he ended up diving into home plate just for fun. And then Cruz did it last night. Like, these guys, it looks like they're having a lot of fun. It looks like they're almost like
they want to go home and tell their mom they got their uniform
That's what I'm
dirty.
saying. It's not like they're worried about the paycheck as much as they're worried about let's have fun, let's be teammates, let's be good baseball players. It makes you feel like this is a fun team to watch.
All right, last thing. Let's just stir it up a little bit here because that's what I like to do. So trade market, looking ahead, you just never know. Say a Mitch Keller, someone takes a bite out of the apple, and maybe another offensive bat, one that could actually add big dividends. Would you be willing to even consider that?
You got to show me what Jared Jones does when he comes up first, because if he's as good as we think he's going to be in coming back, and maybe you need a piece, but man, Mitch Keller's done everything you've ever asked him to do. He's far outlived that contract or outperformed that contract that he got. I'd hate to see him go anywhere because I think you got such great chemistry right now.
Well, Bubba Chandler, 4.97 ERA as a few days ago. He needs to kind of wind it back a little bit. Joe, your thoughts on that? Then we'll say enjoy the rest of your day. Go ahead.
Absolutely. You know, I kind of have the same feeling as the counselor. If you have somebody, you know, internally that you're able to bring up rather than the trade to keep that chemistry going, if you can keep them, I think that's a good thing. But you know, again, chemistry is delicate, and when you pull something out of that and it's not the right fit, it could really mix things up in a negative way.
Hey, not to say palm trees and sand between your toes isn't nice, but do you ever miss the rolling hills of western Pennsylvania? Skip.
I do, but you could see behind me I'm mobile, and you see this right here?
Yeah.
That's my little thermos or cooler. I think I'm going to head to the beach today with the wife and family.
Joe, you're the best. Hey,
God bless you.
Wish your significant other a happy Mother's Day. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you next week, okay?
Love it. See you guys. Appreciate it very much.
There he goes. Short break. We'll come back. More on the passing of Bobby Cox, Hall of Fame manager at the age of 84, longtime manager and nemesis of our Pirates during the 90s with those Atlanta Braves, NBA, NHL, and, of course, the NFL. We've got you covered. Home cooking. No one does it better. And Andy Toole of Robert Morris, top of the hour, talking about the even bigger March tournament that we love in college basketball. All coming up today. KDKA.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life. your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. I recently had two sets of customers who had vastly different stories. One had purchased elsewhere 3 years ago and spent $5,000. And the other had purchased from OMF 12 years ago and spent $1,000. The difference? Our customer's mattress lasted 4 times longer and cost them 5 times less. Don't waste money on overpriced, overhyped mattresses. Visit the Original Mattress Factory for unbeatable quality and value. Sleep better, longer, for less.
Hearing the news every day is one thing. Hearing it hit home is something altogether different. That's the difference you hear every day on KDKA Radio. We go beyond the benign headlines and bring the news to life, your life. So stay here and hear the news and what a difference it makes. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's 58 degrees at 11:30. I'm David Ballarado. State-run media in Iran says that country has responded to the latest peace proposal focusing on permanently ending the war. The U.S. has been waiting for that response to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and to address Iran's nuclear program. The war continues to cause oil and gas prices to rise as the Strait of Hormuz remains closed. President Trump mentioned starting Project Freedom, in which U.S. ships would guide vessels out of the strait, but later called it off at Pakistan's request. On CBS's Face the Nation, U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright provided details on Project Freedom.
We did stop Project Freedom at Iran's request. They said, wait a minute, let's make a deal. Let's make a deal. We'll agree to reopen it. Let's engage in the talks about the nuclear program, and let's make a deal. So this pausing of that military effort to open the straits is to get a negotiated settlement with Iran.
Pittsburgh police say a man flagged them down on East Carson Street overnight to say he had stabbed someone in self-defense. The man who was stabbed was taken to the hospital in stable condition. The other was taken to the hospital for an injury to his hand. Police say their investigation continues. A Westmoreland County man is accused of using fake checks to buy more than $400,000 worth of vehicles between last December and April. Investigators say 30-year-old Timothy Byerly was nabbed during a sting operation at a dealership where he was trying to make yet another car purchase. KDK Sports, the Pirates and Giants tied at 1 game apiece in their West Coast series. The Bucks look to take that series when they send Bubba Chandler to the mound later this afternoon. KDK Radio News Time, 11:31. I'm David Ballarado. Our next update at noon on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDKA.
The birds are singing, the flowers are in bloom, the sun is shining. What more can we ask for? Maybe to feel great and be the best version of ourselves. This is Dr. Shufo from the Weight Loss and Wellness Center. Isn't it time to take care of ourselves now? We put it off during the cold, dark, dreary days of winter. But it's time now. Get rid of that extra weight, which affects our movement, our physical health, and yes, affects our mental and emotional health. Have more self-confidence and self-esteem. Be happy, be healthy, be alive. Call me at 1-800-900-THIN.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour, and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
I've been burned before. I was just repeating the same patterns. It turns out I had a type.
Workplaces everywhere are looking for love. And by love, we mean the easy way to order food at work. Easy Cater.
I thought ordering from great restaurants at work had to be complicated, but then I met Easy Cater. So many options, so flexible, and when I ordered for 50 gluten-free vegans without going over budget, I knew I'd found the platform I wanted to do life and lunch with.
Fall in love with Easy Cater. Start an order at easycater.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years.
I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Clouds with breaks of sun for the rest of this Mother's Day afternoon with a high of 64. Then for tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 41. Partly sunny tomorrow on the cool side with a high of 61 for the afternoon. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Benz, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, we'll be back Monday. Yes, enjoy the weekend. I'll catch you Monday, 2 to 6. Can't wait to talk. Colin Dunlap, KDKA.
All right, a little bit more on Bobby Cox in that era and with the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 90s. Anybody wants to jump in? The phone number is 866-391-1020. Do you realize how good the Pirates were then, some of the players? But, you know, my first brush with greatness on a Major League Baseball field was in the early 90s when I started to make the transition from playing music here and started to become a so-called sports guy. And I mean so-called. I basically would fill in for people. I got to meet a young Atlanta Brave, and he sat down with me on the bench in their dugout. We had a lengthy talk. He had just been called up, just getting started. It was Chipper Jones.
Oh, man.
And I never forgot that. And he reminded me of a young Mickey Mantle. And boy, did he not have an incredible career.
He was really a special player. He was
incredible.
Outstanding and you know, stellar within the community. You know, the guy that would anybody would be proud to take him home, introduce him to your daughter. He was that type of man and player, and you know, probably I would say, other than the pitching staff, the guy that was most recognizable on that team. Hall of Famer. Just a tremendous player.
You know, Bobby Cox would not let his players wear sunglasses on the bill of their cap because he didn't want him to cover up the A.
Oh, jeez.
And Smoltz, who really could have been a great golfer too, Tiger Woods gives him a holler and says, "Look, you want to come and play Augusta before this thing gets going next week?" And he says, I can't. You know, we're like playing baseball. I can't leave.
Like in season, they wouldn't let him play?
Yeah. So this was like just, you know, the start of the regular season because the Masters, you know, about that same time. And he said, he went into Bobby Cox and he said, "Look, Bobby, I know you're going to say no, but Tiger Woods said he picked him up with a helicopter, 8 o'clock in the morning, go play. I'll be back, but it's tomorrow. And I know I'm about ready to start again." And he said, Bobby Cox said, "We'll see you in a couple of days." He said, so just when you least expect it. But these guys used to rule with an iron fist. I don't know if you could do it in today's game. Right. But that Atlanta Braves team was great. But if they're not there, just like the Reds are not there in the 70s, I mean, the Pirates had some Bobby Bonds, Barry Bonilla, Andy Van Slyke, Spanky LaValliere, great pitching, you know, Doug Drabick. They were great. I mean, they just were a great, and we had Jim Leland who built this whole thing up. We could, and honestly, if Bobby Cox isn't there with that talent, I don't think Jim Leland ever leaves Pittsburgh. I think he retires as the manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates, like kind of the same career Bobby Cox had with Atlanta.
I mean, I'd like to think that too, but the finances, those guys
But
had
they would have been winning, though.
No doubt. But they were winning when they left. They knew that they were not going to be able to continue to pay Bonilla and Bonds.
Winning cures a lot. If they'd have got a World Series, they'd have kept those players because the city would have run them out of town. If they would have won the World Series, Bonds and Bonilla do not leave here.
You weren't going to afford those guys in those days.
But you know what it was? Here's the other thing. If Bonds and Bonilla do what they should have done back then, $16 million each, they stay here, they probably win a World Series, and they go on to have a better career as opposed. Well, Bobby Bonilla's getting paid $1 million still every year through 2035 from the Mets, but he never won anything, and Bonds never won anything.
But you got to remember, Rob, that as good as they were in the regular season, both of them
horrible in the postseason,
lousy in the playoffs. So they matured and changed that around. At least Bonds did, where he became much more of a clutch hitter even in the postseason. But it's a shame. And Bonilla didn't really necessarily go on to greener pastures. I mean, his best years were his Pirates years.
Yeah, they were. And listen, Bonds was his best as a five-tool player when he played for the Pirates. But the one Atlanta Brave that nobody thinks about, I mean, you always think of Henry Aaron, the great Hank Aaron, but Dale Murphy. Remember Dale Murphy?
Sure.
And such a big part of Bobby Cox and all these players that they were interviewing on MLB Network. Just such love for this guy and being revered by Tim Kirchin and so many others. Bobby Cox was incredible, but fourth on the all-time list. Then you start thinking about others ahead of him and what he was able to do. 14 division titles in a row.
Yeah, but you got to remember, if you don't have the horses,
he got
you don't
them.
win. So, I mean, with that pitching staff, you could have been a monkey and not screwed up that pitching staff. You just give them the ball and say, go pitch.
That may be the greatest rotation in the history of Major League Baseball.
They were good.
Who's better?
Well, you Spawn and Sane. I mean, back in the olden days and things like that. I mean, there were some greats, but
those five.
Those guys that you ran out, even just the top three.
But you realize baseball in Atlanta was a bust. Ted Turner bought him for $10 million and put $1 million down. They were horrible. You know what put them on the map?
Chief Nakahoma.
But it was the superstation, WTBS.
Right.
And they became America's team. That was Ted Turner.
You're right. Yes.
So, but anyway, Bobby Cox. I would get a big kick out of the fact that he wore metal cleats. Isn't he? And somebody said that's what you would expect a major leaguer to do.
Well, why? I still don't understand why
either.
Baseball managers wear uniforms.
Well, it looks good, man.
It does.
Got to do it. All right, Joe, Scott Township. Joe, thanks for calling in. How are you? Welcome to the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on, Rob and Greg. Hey, Greg, I was just on your one comment about wondering how many games at home that Bobby Cox got thrown out. I did the quick AI, of course, and they didn't have an exact number, but they had eyewitnesses that said it was a significant number of times at home. And he actually had a video room that he would go to and watch the rest of the game from at Old Fulton County Stadium, I guess. But
Joe, when you say watch the games from, aren't we implying that he managed the game still from his video room?
Well, I'm sure he did, yeah. I would guess he did, yeah.
So,
and your comment, Rob, I wouldn't argue with you because just think about their starting pitching. And I thought, in today's game, we always know who the closer is. Can you guys name the closer of that team?
I was trying to think. Was it Gene Garber?
No, Gene Garber was earlier in there. Yeah. He was in there. I think he was in the 80s. But just doing a quick look because I couldn't think of who it was.
Juan Berenger.
Oh, that doesn't ring a bell either.
That's what Google said, but it could be wrong.
Well, Alejandro Pena was at one point.
Oh, yeah.
He saved like 11 games. But it actually came to a point where I don't think they really had a solid closer, and they made Smoltz the closer. They took him out of the starting rotation. And that was later on. That was in 95 and 96. But yeah, they didn't really have a closer then. They didn't need one. Those guys pitched 8 innings, 9 innings.
Yeah, and that was the fascinating part. And who's the pitcher that is real mean when a manager comes out to try to take him out of the game? I think he's still in. Who am I trying to think of, Joe? It was a Dodger pitcher, I think, that you would say, don't come out and try to take me out of the game because he's going to argue with you. But I imagine that Bobby Cox had a little bit of trouble when he would come out and try to tell Smoltz or Glavine, hey, you're coming out.
Oh, I'm sure. And the only one I could think of, Greg, that you might be thinking of is Hershiser, because I know
the old Bulldog, yeah.
Hey,
he never wanted to come out.
Guys, you remember the other connection to Ted Turner in Pittsburgh? And I did Google this to double check, but it just went through my stream of consciousness. When Chuck Tanner and Willie Stargell went there in '86 through '88.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Remember that? And that was horrible. I mean, it's not so much for Chuck, because he was a major league manager, came from Oakland. But to see Willie Stargell in an Atlanta Braves uniform, that would make your stomach turn.
Yeah, but at least he wasn't going there to play.
No, I know. But he was ours, man. I don't know. It's just something to think about. But think about, he said Fulton County. They were horrible. That was a launching pad. When the Pirates would go there back in the day, you couldn't wait to get to the radio to listen to Bob Prince say, "Kiss it goodbye." And they really did turn things around. So how did they get all that talent? Just luck of the draw? Where they had what was the guy's name? John, the general manager?
Shoreholtz?
Shoreholtz, that's it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But he really was a baseball
But those guys were probably mostly homegrown. I think, that back in the late 80s when they would have been coming up, most teams, free agency was prevalent, but not like it is today. I think most of the Braves guys were their own guys that they drafted.
So, Joe, let me ask you, are you buying in on these Pirates? And who would have ever thought that the Cubs, 10 straight up until recently? Yeah. And guess who else has come to life? And it's a great baseball town. I can't believe St. Louis is playing as well as they're playing. So what do you make of the Pittsburgh Pirates, Joe, to this point?
I think we'll be with it all year. I think it'll be fun to watch. And, the Reds, they went on their little roll, and then they lost 8 or 9 in a row. Now they're going down. And the Cardinals, they're just amazing. Everyone said they'd be in last place, and they very well may, but they're going to battle too. I think it'll be one of the best divisions. It already is, but the best division in baseball because it's competitive every day, and each team's going to have their time to shine. And the Cubs are maybe the elite team. They're probably going to win the division, but there'll be a battle for the wild card, that's for sure.
Joe, what was, and I don't know if it was all Kelly's decision or what, but going to San Fran and opening the series with the lineup that they used the other night, it just seemed like they almost were thinking maybe we can try to steal a game because the Giants aren't very good, but that lineup just wasn't representative of what this team can be.
Well, you listen to those guys, and they make sense. It's a long season. They try to give guys breaks, but I don't agree with when they give multiple guys.
Right.
Like taking Lau and O'Hearn out, even though Lefty was pitching. I didn't agree with it, but you could always disagree with managers. But why would you take those two out? Because they're very hot, and they can both hit left-hand pitching. And Cruz is hitting left-hand pitching like he's tearing it up.
He's killing it. Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't agree with that, and it sort of backfired on them as far as the lineup went. And they made Ray look maybe a little better than he was, but I just get frustrated. You got to give guys days off, but you can't give multiple guys days off on the. They used to do that on Sunday, and that was always hard to watch. But
exactly.
This team should compete, though. I just really think that they have what it takes to. And then, like I said, they'll have their slumps, but they really have a competitive team, barring any injury to the major players. They should be fine.
Yeah, hopefully that 5-game losing streak was an aberration. We don't see another one of those because that one sucked the wind out of us a little bit.
All right, hey, Joe, always good hearing from you. Thank you. JD, we'll get to you on the other side. Coming up top of the hour, Andy Toole, longtime head coach at Robert Morris, talking about the expansion of the tournament. And then, of course, Ted will be by. Lots of stuff to get to. And Drew Aller, minicamp, tossing the football around, looking pretty good. Lots more to come today. KDK.
Every Tuesday morning at 7:20, listen for Inside Independence Health, a look at all things healthcare with the experts from Independence Health System. It's brought to you by Independence Health System. Expert care here.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. After suffering an injury, you may face many hard questions. What will tomorrow bring? Which firm should I choose to represent me and my family? At Morgan & Morgan, we will hold your hand every step of the way. From our one-click sign-up, mobile apps, and 24/7 availability, we make it easy to get your case started right from the comfort of your couch. All firms are not the same. The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi, Paul Alexander here to let you know the KDKA has planned a fabulous 5-day Arizona getaway this September, and it's filling up fast. My wife, Shelley, and I want you to join us for an unforgettable trip based in beautiful Flagstaff, a relaxed mountain town that makes the perfect home base. From there, we'll explore the incredible red rocks of Sedona, travel by rail to the breathtaking Grand Canyon, a bucket list spot that everyone needs to see at least once. And then we'll take in the stunning scenery around Lake Powell with its deep blue water and wide open views. It's the perfect mix of sightseeing, natural beauty, and plenty of time to just enjoy where we are. And September is truly the sweet spot. Comfortable weather, no summer crowds, and everything planned for you. No guessing, no stress. Just show up and enjoy Arizona. Space is limited. Seats are disappearing quickly. Visit travelwithkdk.com or call 800-383-3131. Again, travel with KDK.com or call 800-383-3131. Can't wait to see you there.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
So I'm home doing chores yesterday, dusting, running the sweeper, laundry. But I look up, UFL's on, Rick Neuhausel coaching Dallas, and they bring in their betting expert. And I said to Greg during the break, do people bet on the UFL? And you said,
absolutely. People will bet on anything. Now, that's the problem. It's so pervasive in society now that and I guarantee there's high school kids that are betting, figuring out, ways around the 18, being 18 to open an account. And they're getting bets in on everything. And you can bet on virtually anything now. You can bet per pitch when you're watching a baseball game. So that's what that quarterback at Texas Tech was doing. He was betting. He was live betting. He was betting like a quarter at a time, but
he's
still
upside down. Listen, think about what you just said. Betting a quarter at a time. You and I, there's no rational thought process, but it gets down to whether it's alcohol, drugs, eating, sex. It's an addiction. It's an addiction. Here's JD. He joins us now. JD, give me that answer of that reliever. Can you do that?
I can name two things for you. First, the answer to Bobby Cox is 162, believe it or not. 21 more than John McGraw. He was the only manager who's been ejected fewest in the postseason with 4 straight times, 158 in the regular season. So 162 to 141, however, the edge over John J. McGraw. The closer is Mark Wohlers, Wohlers, if I remember correctly. That was the closer.
Thank you, JD. What's on your mind today, bud?
Well, let's just talk about, like you said, about the Pirates and everything like that. They are playing good. It was nice to see them bang out the ball last night compared to Friday night. They've had a very good road trip. I think so far, if you're looking for an early MVP candidate right now as far as batters go, I would say Lau has been the early contender in the clubhouse right now. I think he's doing very, very well so far. Reynolds is starting to hit it. Cruz is starting to get it going at times. So let's keep competitive, however, but we've got to slow down these Cubbies in St. Louis, however, if you will, however. But I think we're going to still stay in it for most of the year, however. We just got to hope that pitching holds up because I'm a little shaky about our bullpen. I'm not really high on Dennis Santana, and I don't know why. It's just, he gives me the heebie-jeebies when he comes in because he can be good and he can be really shaky. So I think if they want to have a true closer, you got one in Soto.
JD, going back to your MVP player, what's my man Nicky G have to do to impress you, man? You didn't run him out there. He's been hitting. He's Ted Williams-esque since April 19th. He's been hitting over 400. He's killing the ball.
Nicky G has done very well, Greg. You're right, however. That's one person I have not paid attention to, and you're right. I'm going to have to start watching now. But, yeah, he's been in the ball the last 3 weeks. He's starting to get his swing. I think this offseason he knew how his job was on the line, maybe, possibly, and I think that's why he's doing so well right now, however. So, I mean, everyone's just at the right pace, however, but there are a few things they got to tweak upon. If they can do that, I think you'll still be okay.
JD, I think it's part of the new hitting coach that they've brought in, and the theory they're hitting a lot of pitches intentionally the opposite way. They're using the opposite side of the field. They're driving the ball that direction, but they're also hitting through that so that even though the shift that we once knew where you were bringing guys all the way over to the other side of the infield, that shift where you're bringing a guy, your shortstop or second baseman straight up the middle, depending upon whether it's a right-hander or left-hander, that leaves a big hole to hit through, and the Pirates have really been capitalizing that. There have been a lot of, briskly hit ground balls that have been going through the infield because there's only one guy left on that side of the field.
No question about it, Greg. The only thing that also worries me, too, is a little bit of the pitching. I mean, yeah, Skeens and Cal have been okay. The only guy I'm a little worried about right now is Chandler. His walk production has gone up quite a bit. He's got to control that walk issue because that's been his problem this year. If he can get it today, which he's supposed to do, I think we'll be okay. But Ashcraft's been okay, but I think the only pitching question mark right now in this rotation is Chandler.
Majinski's actually been a favorable asset to them that we really want to
number 3, no question. And Ashcraft is a 4. You got that great. Just number 5 is the big thing. The other thing, too, I mean, obviously, of course, we talk about from time to time is wrestling. Of course, I'm sure you guys saw this week, a couple weeks ago, they had 25 people go. TKO is just ruining sports right now, not just in pro wrestling, but sports in general. It's sickening to watch. It really is disturbing.
All right, JD, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Listen, just got a note from Teddy. He is en route from point A to point B, so he won't be joining us today. But you and I have a lot to get to in the way of the National Football League. But let's just wrap up about Major League Baseball and our Pittsburgh Pirates. Donnie Kelly, give me a grade.
A-.
Which is really good.
Yeah, I love the guy. I think what he has brought to them. He's got a little bit of fire about him, but he doesn't overreact to wins. Doesn't get too high. Doesn't get too low. I don't like that little lineup snafu that they threw out there the other night. I was really confused by why they would make such a move. I understand it's a long haul, but you don't need to rest everybody at the same time. Give me one or two guys. But without that, everything else that he's done, he's done pretty well. If you want to get a little bit picayune, the other night I didn't like necessarily bringing the infield in when you had Arias up when they were only down a run. He hits what would have been a double play ball if they had the infield back at double play depth. So, if he hits it right at the third baseman, he looks like a genius.
All right. So speaking of looking like a genius, he is a genius on the basketball court as a head coach. He's been doing it a long time up there on University Boulevard at the UPMC Event Center, that beautiful facility. Robert Morris Colonial's head basketball coach, Andy Toole. We talk about the expansion of that madness that takes place in the springtime. The Tourney, next on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDKA.
While you sleep, there are people you've never met who are working hard to make your morning. People who get up at ungodly hours to make sure you get the information you want. People who dedicate their lives to make yours better while you sleep. These people come together during the Big K Morning Show with Larry Richert, 5:30 to 10 in the morning, to make sure you have the best news, traffic, and weather to start your day. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas. the perfect place for mom.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Pittsburgh, we've got a problem. Home care is in crisis and there aren't enough caregivers to meet the demand. So if you've got a loved one with Medicaid and needs care, don't wait. Freedom Care was built for this moment. We help you get care at home from someone you already trust, a family member or friend who can get paid to help with everyday needs like meals, medication, bathing, and mobility. If you have Medicaid, it's 100% free to you. No waiting lists, just real care from your people right now. Freedom Care handles it all, training, payroll, and support, so you can stay safe and comfortable at home, and your caregiver gets paid after every shift guaranteed. With 97% satisfaction and over 150 million hours of care delivered, Pittsburgh families are already making the switch to care at home. Take care of your own and get paid with Freedom Care. Call 412-844-5990. That's 412-844-5990. Call now, 412-844-5990. 412-844-5990.
Allegheny County is looking for poll workers to work the election on May 19th. Poll workers earn $150 to $175 for the day plus paid training. For more info and to apply, visit AlleghenyVotes.com. That's AlleghenyVotes.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's 56 degrees at 12 o'clock. I'm David Ballarado. Iran's state-run media says that nation has delivered its response to the latest U.S. points for a permanent settlement in the on-again-off-again conflict stalled recently by what happens in the Strait of Hormuz. On ABC's This Week, American United Nations Ambassador Mike Waltz explaining why President Trump has not resumed full-scale military operations.
It's not just the United States position. We have had resolution after resolution for nearly 20 years with the entire world agreeing that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, that it has to subject itself to inspections.
Pittsburgh police are investigating after a man flagged down officers early this morning to say he had stabbed someone in self-defense. They spoke to him on the 1800 block of East Carson Street, separated him from the other man who had been stabbed in his right cheek. The stabbing victim was taken to a local hospital in stable condition. The man who flagged down police was also taken for treatment of a hand injury. A Mother's Day rally is scheduled for this afternoon on the South Side, where a number of groups will come together to call for Allegheny County to adopt a paid family leave policy for all working parents in the county. Among them, McGee Union nurses, including Lucy Ruscio.
I mean, I think this Mother's Day we're focusing on what really matters more than flowers and chocolates, which is time with our families after birth.
She says they're working with county council members to draft a plan that would work best for Allegheny County. Governor Shapiro is asking the federal government to expedite disaster support to Pennsylvania farmers after last month's freeze damaged crops. Touring Cherry Hill orchards in Lancaster County last week, Shapiro said he sent his request to U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins asking for a disaster declaration so affected farmers could file for crop insurance. He also says they'll work with state lawmakers.
Language that will allow us to flex funding from the High Path Avian Influenza Fund, which has roughly $75 million in that, which has been incredibly important to our poultry farmers to help them get back up on their feet after dealing with high path avian influenza. We want to be able to flex some of those dollars to help those fruit farmers who have been impacted by this freeze.
Temperatures that fell into the teens last month after weeks of warm weather nearly destroyed this year's apple and peach crops at Cherry Hill orchards. Pitcairn police credited a canine officer in helping to nab a man who allegedly stole a bike from a local store and then fled on it after starting a fight with store employees. All this happened around 11 a.m. Saturday at the unidentified store on Broadway Boulevard. Police say the man stole the bike, began fighting with staff and customers, and at one point tried to keep them from leaving the business. Investigators say the man was found nearby on Center Avenue. When he refused to surrender, they tried to tase him, but to no avail. Canine Officer Max was able to help take him into custody on charges that now include criminal trespass, theft, public intoxication, and resisting arrest.
It's showtime.
It's the battle of sequels at the movie theaters this weekend. The weekend's two top-grossing movies, Mortal Kombat 2 and The Devil Wears Prada 2, are each expected to earn more than $40 million domestically. KDK Sports, the Surging Pirates wrap up their series in San Francisco this afternoon against a scuffling Giants team. The Bucks hand the ball to Bubba Chandler as they look to build off of yesterday's big win. First pitch at 4:05 Eastern. KDK Radio News Time, 12:03. The AccuWeather forecast is next.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 20% and get financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Hall and Museum recognizes Pennsylvania's combat veterans who have received medals for gallantry. With this Hall of Valor moment, here's the curator of Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Hall and Museum, Michael Krause.
Private Joseph Gian of Allegheny County was awarded the Medal of Honor during the Civil War on May 2, 1863 at Chancellorsville, Virginia. Gian was one of 4 men who volunteered to get through the guards, locate the enemy's position, and return as soon as the information was obtained. While returning, as they emerged from the Confederate line, both armies were already engaged in battle. The 4 men, including Gian, did as they were told and returned straight through the fire from both sides, escaping Federal ball and Confederate shell alike. Thanks to the report, General Joseph Hooker massed his artillery and was enabled to do terrible damage to Stonewall Jackson's corps when it made its desperate but unsuccessful attack.
Consider a tax-deductible donation. Visit soldiersandsailorshall.org for more information.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
For the rest of this Mother's Day afternoon, clouds with breaks of sun, high at 64 degrees. And for tonight, becoming mostly cloudy, low 41. Tomorrow, partly sunny. Cool for May, a high of just 61 degrees. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Benz, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Regional Vice President Michael Spacciapoli.
This week, Cannon-McMillan School District announced it's reducing screen time in the classroom. Superintendent Dr. Greg Taranto tells KDKA Radio kindergarten through 2nd grade will be Chromebook-free learning areas, pointing to new research that shows kids learn better with direct, face-to-face interaction with teachers. Dr. Taranto adds screen time is being reduced at all grade levels, and the school district is buying physical textbooks instead of digital versions. We applaud Canon Mac's decision to reduce screen time in the classroom. Kids are inundated with phones, tablets, and video games all day long, and research shows too much screen time can be detrimental to a child's development. Dr. Taranto says this isn't an elimination of its technical and computer classes, but more of what he calls a return to center and not relying on screens for everything. We hope other local districts soon follow suit and shift their learning that best benefits the students and lets teachers teach.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Regional Vice President Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA, presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition, and brought to you by Leon's Billiards and More.
It's nonstop for your Pratt Pack 365, no days off, and this has been swirling in my brain along with everything else that I do with my talk show about, topical events, whether it's politics or the war in Iran or the sports or these home improvement shows, cooking shows, and I kept thinking, should I really talk to Andy Toole about the expansion of the tournament? And then about 45 minutes ago, I went to text, and he responded. So it's nice to have the coach joining us on a Mother's Day afternoon. Happy Mom's Day to your significant other. And, Skip, it's great to have you back. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Rob.
So the NCAA officially announced on May 7th, gentlemen, 2026, that both the men's and women's Division I basketball tournament will expand 68 to 76 teams in 2027. So when will the new format begin? The expanded 76-team field will debut with the 2027 March Madness tournament. The men's opening round is scheduled to start on March 16, 2027, and the women's on March 17, 2027. Quickly, how will the new opening round work? The former first four is being replaced by a 12-game opening round. Men's tournament, 6 games will be played in Dayton, Ohio, and 6 will be held at a second yet-to-be-determined site. On the women's side of things, all 12 games will be hosted at campus sites of the designated first-round seeds. So, Coach, thumbs up or thumbs down about the expansion? What do you think?
I think I would go a little bit in between. I'm not sure if the expansion was necessary. Obviously, I think what happened was once you start hearing about it in the media and the NCAA, it's just a matter of time, and so we've got to adjust to it. But the thing that I don't love about it is a lot of the initial round games will be 15 and 16 seeds that will be playing against each other, which perennially become, teams that are in one-bid leagues or mid-majors that are, earn their way into that tournament. And I think giving them the opportunity to play against some of the big boys in that first round, I think is something that's fantastic and a lifetime memory that you might be eliminating from some of these teams and programs.
Andy, I always find it kind of I don't know if fascinating is the right word, maybe strange that you have situations where teams that win the play-in game are jumping in as an 11 seed, if I'm not mistaken. And why you get to the point where you're in the tournament and all of a sudden you're qualified well, but then you got to play in and then you go in as an 11. And I assume that's still going to be part of this new format.
I hope so. I mean, I think those 11 games are great. I think those 10s and 11s sometimes are the last seeds that are in the tournament. And right. So if they're the last seeds in as automatic qualifiers, why shouldn't they have to play a game to play their way in? If you come in 9th or 10th place in your league and you get an opportunity to go to the NCAA tournament, I think having a play-in is fine. If you're in a one-bid league and you win the regular season or you win your conference tournament championship, that's about as hard a thing as there is in one-bid leagues to be able to win your conference tournament championship. And so I think you should be in the tournament if you do that. If you're in 8th, 9th place in a Power 4 league and you're just at 500 in your league, not saying that that's not hard to do as well because those leagues are monsters. You're playing the Big 12, you're playing the SEC, you're playing high-level teams every night, but you have the resources to be able to compete. And I think you should be the one that's playing those potential playing opportunities, not your 15 and 16.
So are we very far away from doing what I believe it is in the state of Indiana at high school where everybody that plays basketball gets in the tournament?
They do that in Ohio, too. Go ahead.
We got a long way to go before that. I mean, there's 363 Division I teams. You still only have 76 that'll be part of the NCAA tournament. I think it's actually one of the smallest percentages of programs to teams that are playing in national tournaments. So I think we got a long way to go before we're there. However, we're obviously slowly getting closer, and the more that the media money comes in and the more games that they want to be able to air, I think the more opportunity that the NCAA is always going to look at ways to try to increase that dollar through their media rights.
So, Coach, a couple of things real quick here before we let you go. And again, thanks for taking time out on this Mother's Day to join us. Does this expansion change how you schedule your non-conference games? And what about accessing and actually having fair competition early on? Go ahead. Those two things, please.
It doesn't make a big difference for us in terms of how we schedule. I mean, I think obviously, one of the challenges that you have if you've had a successful year or two as a mid-major program is scheduling. And you're always trying to balance it. You want to play some of those tough high major opponents to get your team comfortable and prepared if you ever get the chance to play in the NCAA tournament. And then you want to play some games where your team can get some continuity and some chemistry, because as we all know, the rosters are constantly changing and evolving. And so being able to find some of that chemistry early in the season, create some of that buy-in, create some of that execution, I think is really important. So those are the things that we're really talking about as we try to put our schedules together.
Andy, speaking of roster turnover, I know last year you had basically almost 100% turnover. Are you there again this year? And how pleased are you with what you were able to add in the transfer portal?
So we were able to return 4 guys this year, which might be a minor miracle. And we're excited about the 4 guys that we were able to return. I think those guys have been are going to be really impactful players for us. And then I think we went out and did a good job in the transfer portal. I think we were able to put together and address, some of what we lost, losing Deshaun Good and Ryan Prather and Nikos Chidakudis. And, those guys were, major parts of our team. And we got to go out and try to replace some of those guys, have some of the guys that are returning continue to improve and develop, and put a good team on the floor. But I think we're happy with how we were able to put our team together. But obviously that's only on paper. Now we got to get them here in the summer and start to build them and get them on the same page.
Sounds like you might be at an AAU game right now, or a travel game. I hear you're.
We just had a 3-run home run in the top of the 6th to take the lead, and I think the coach of the other team just got ejected. So it's not a youth sports game unless somebody gets ejected.
Gotta love it. Hey, let me just say this. If you're looking for a place to play, obviously I know name, image, and likeness, and cash is king, but you got to be so proud of what's happened up there on University Boulevard, that UPMC Event Center, obviously Joe Walton Stadium, that campus, the degrees that are coming out of there, and Moon Township's still one of the coolest places. You get a little country, you get a little city, and you're not too far from anything as far as the big city of Pittsburgh, or maybe one of these very big and growing suburbs down in Washington County, Butler, Beaver, Lawrence. So a special place, is it not, Robert Morris, Coach?
It is, and I have such pride in it. I've been here 19 years overall, 16 years as the head coach, and just pride in the growth of the program, the experience that we can provide for our student athletes, pride in the university and the growth that it's had. I mean, we've upgraded almost every academic facility we have there. Obviously, we've upgraded the UPMC Event Center, Student Rec Center. I mean, we've done so much to the campus to try and improve, whether it's the general student body or the student athletes experience. And there's a ton of pride in putting on that Robert Morris jersey and going out and competing.
Coach,
Andy, I'm sorry, Rob.
Go ahead.
Andy, we didn't have a chance to talk with you since I don't think your mentor Mark Schmidt retired from St. Bonaventure, and you must have learned a good deal at his behest while you were coming up through the ranks, and he was a pretty good guy.
Yeah, I mean, he did a great job, and it's I don't think what he did at St. Bonaventure gets enough credit. When he took over that program, they were completely in shambles, and he made going to St. Bonaventure one of the hardest places to play and win in the Atlantic 10, and he did it for 19 seasons. And so, just an amazing run that he had in a place that's not easy, especially as we go into the name, image, and likeness, and we go into the transfer portal, and we go into all these new things in the NCAA. It's not like only in New York as a destination, but he made it that, and he made it an incredible home court advantage and was able to build perennial championship contending teams there. And I think, people don't understand how difficult that is to do and what a great job he did.
Hey, Coach, thanks. Enjoy the day with the family. Again, happy Mother's Day to your significant other, your beautiful wife. You need anything, reach out, okay?
Much appreciated. Thanks, guys.
There he goes, Andy Toole. Now, there's a coach for you, out coaching his kids' team, having fun.
You gotta love that.
I know.
Mean, that would be it would be so cool.
I'd be a little intimidated if that was the opposing coach.
I know, but he's a coaching legend. Just to be able to be on the same field with him and have a conversation with him while that would be going on, that would be outstanding.
All right, good stuff. We'll take a short break. We'll come back. We're going to talk a little NBA. How about them Knicks? And we're also going to talk some NHL. By the way, the Flyers are done. They got eliminated in 4 straight by Carolina, and a lot of stuff to get to in the National Football League. Coons Market, Black and Gold Sunday Show. Greg Diolis, Diolis Law, Milk and Honey Sports Entertainment, and your Pratt Pack, KDKA, 100.1 FM, AM 1020.
News, weather, traffic, and business every day. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
This is Greg Truzinski of the Original Mattress Factory. People often ask me why our mattresses last so long. The answer is simple. We build them right. Not only are OMF mattresses durable, they give you peace of mind from day one. When you invest in a mattress from OMF, you're investing in better sleep tonight and smart savings for years to come. No more frequent replacements, no more wasted time shopping. To learn more about the true value of durability, visit originalmattress.com and read our latest blog on getting the most from your mattress investment.
At the Original Mattress Factory, we know that convenience is key. That's why we've made mattress shopping simple and stress-free. Shop in-store or online, whatever works best for you. No high-pressure sales tactics or fake promotions. Our prices are clearly marked, and we openly compare our products to other brands. With our streamlined selection, you won't be overwhelmed by duplicate options, and our 365-day comfort policy provides for peace of mind. Experience the ease of buying factory direct. Visit OMF today for better sleep tonight.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Let me just say this. Liv may be not alive much longer, and believe me, I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. But this PGA being played now, it should be when it's August and it's 110 degrees in the shade and they've got that golfer's tan. They're going to be at Newton Square. Where? Newton Square, Pennsylvania. That's next week. I just can't get juiced up for it when it's in May.
Yeah, and it also causes the golf season to basically end at the British Open. So it's kind of, and I guess it's the Open Championship. It's what we used to know as the British Open. But yeah, so you get the middle of July and basically golf season is over, which is kind of a bummer because you're just starting to feel it. But interestingly enough, it seems like the guys at the top of the pack going into this PGA tournament are the same guys from a year ago. I mean, Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler, it's all the same faces, just reshuffling the deck. Maybe, 3 replaces 4, 2 replaces 1, something like that. But it's all the same guys at the top of the list.
All right, so whatever this means, I'm going to do it anyway because there's golfers out there that appreciate this stuff, but they always do it. On the Golf Channel, course conditions. The Donald Ross design layout features 180 bunkers and challenging greens. Is expected to play firm and fast, providing a rigorous test for the field. And a 50,000 square foot shop as far as merchandising is concerned, with over 1,500 unique items in case you are planning to make the trip. They're saying, obviously, Scotty Scheffler, world number 1. Others, Masters champ Rory McIlroy, followed by John Rahm and, Cadillac Championship winner who's still in the hunt today at the Truist Championship, Cameron Young at Quail Hollow. And that, by the way, Mr. Fitzpatrick is your leader heading into the final round there. So of all of those, who would you be betting on if you could?
Well, out of those guys that you just listed, first of all, I scratch Rahm off. I don't think he's not what he once was, and that was only a few years ago.
It's
Cameron,
that Live Tour. I'm telling you, that Live Tour is going to do more to hurt these guys because by the time they try to get back to the PGA as they know it, the field will pass them by.
Yeah, my heart really goes out to those guys. It was such a horrible, experience for them to,
$200 million.
Yes, exactly.
They're probably doing cartwheels. They're getting out now. Are they going to still have to get paid if they're under contract? If somebody has
I think those contracts were short-lived. I don't think they were like
So that's why they're getting out after this year.
I think, yeah, the whole thing.
By the way, Saudi Arabia, because of probably what's happening in Iran, their purse strings are tight, and that's why they told our wonderful military, you can't use our air bases anymore for this Operation Fury. I think even Saudi Arabia is feeling the pinch, and I also think they realize their accountants are probably saying, this Live, I've never sat and watched a live tournament on television, and I love watching all sports.
They're hard to find. I don't even know where you would go to watch. There's like Fox 1 or something that
FS1.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Can we talk a little hockey? How about Carolina?
Hockey season ended, Rob. It's over. The Penguins are out. The hockey season's over.
And I'll tell you why. Because along with Carolina pushing Philly out, okay, in 4 straight, I love the fact that you got Buffalo and Montreal playing. To me, either one of those teams wins the Stanley Cup, I may actually start watching the NHL Network on a regular basis. I have been reconnected to hockey because of the legendary Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres, and I love everything about Buffalo. Don't ask me why, but I always have. And seeing them and those fans, it's really exciting. And the series, by the way, is tied at 1 game apiece. So there you have it.
Unless the Buffalo Sabres still has Gilbert Perreault, I'm not that much worried about them. But the Canadians, I could go a little bit deeper with some history, with Rocket Richard and Ken Dryden and those types of guys.
All right, now let's move over to the hardwood. New York is about ready to eliminate Philadelphia, which Embiid is hurt. They're done. But Jalen Brunson, the Villanova guy, he's just been like lights out. But you know what I'm noticing is that LeBron James, all of a sudden, he doesn't dye the hair anymore, and it's gray. Hasn't had a hair transplant in a couple of years, so it's really just about gone.
He's going to start looking like Lovie Smith if he lets his beard get any darker.
I love the guy.
Gray.
He's definitely Hall of Fame personified, but he's starting to look old. And, he's probably going to end up in Cleveland next year.
You know what he would say about us, though, don't you?
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm not playing professional basketball. But what I'm saying is, without Luka Doncic, they're an average team, and OKC might be one of the greatest ever in the history of the NBA. And if they win this one, it's been since Golden State, I think, back-to-back, maybe somebody in between, but I can't remember. They may win the next 2 or 3 years, OKC. They are really a great basketball team.
Yeah, I've often told you that my knowledge of the NBA, you could fit it in a thimble and still have room for my thumb.
I'll carry it.
So I can't comment much on that other than tell you that I like the last 2 minutes of the games when somebody has them on at my house.
So Steve Kerr signs a 2-year extension with Golden State, and that means that Steph Curry's probably going to stick around. And Steph Curry's the one that says, I'm not going to play for anybody. But Steph Curry's like even 36. But you realize, once again, the NBA gets these young players, Anthony Edwards, Wembanyama. They've got some really talented players coming up. And Cooper Flagg, I think, and Luka Doncic is still young. I think the best is yet to come. But the thing that they're doing now that a lot of people are complaining, playoff games on prime. So that means people can't channel surf. They're locked into one thing. I know all these sports need to make money, but the NBA has got a television contract worth billions of dollars, and they're paying their top stars $250, $350. I'm talking $1 million contracts. Enough is enough. You know what I mean? And I know now you've got that ESPN deal no longer on TNT, so you get to keep, Kenny and Shaq and Ernie and all that and Charles, which is great for the game. But you can't keep making people pay for everything. You can't.
No, and they had done a decent job. I mean, I'm stumbling across when it's channel surfing. There were some games on primetime NBC time slots, the last few weeks, which you would think would enhance their process, but it's Pittsburgh, man. We just don't watch the NBA, and so it almost, they put them on Channel 11. But look at me showing my age, Channel 11 on NBC. It's just like that one's just not even on the list of things that you're going to skim through.
Listen, you've got me so paranoid when people come to my house, which is rare. If I'm watching the NBA, when the doorbell rings, I change the channel.
That's embarrassing. It's nobody
but
watches.
I got to tell you, what would be the best thing for the NBA? 2 things. Knicks win it all, okay? And Giannis leaves Milwaukee, comes to the Knicks, and Jaylen Brown leaves the Celtics and goes to Milwaukee. That would be great for the game, but the Knicks need to win this year to make the NBA relevant and put it on everybody's lips, because people who love basketball, especially those fans in the city that never sleeps, If the Knicks would win their first one in over 50 years, that would be great for the game of basketball.
Is Spike Lee still rambling around those games? Is he still there all the time?
He makes me want to watch the Knicks. Listen, Madison Square Garden, going back to Pitt and the Big East, there may not be a better venue anywhere. Okay.
They finally had me watching a little bit when Halliburton's dad was acting up in Indiana last year, and TJ was playing, but they were horrible this year.
My dad used to act like that at the dinner table. All right, Meatloaf especially used to get all riled up. We'll take a break. We'll come back. All NFL to the top of the hour. Another marathon weekend coming to an end with your Pratt Pack 30 minutes before we say goodbye. But we have a lot to do when it comes to the National Football League on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
My friends at NASCO Roofing take pride in exceeding customer expectations. Stephanie from Murraysville used NASCO for minor roof repairs. When a storm created substantial roof damage, she called NASCO. NASCO worked with Stephanie's insurance company and installed a beautiful brand new roof. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Stephanie. Get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000. 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing. NASCO.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're struggling to hear conversations, TV, or the people you love, now there's an easier, more affordable solution without spending thousands. Audion Hearing makes high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98 with free shipping and dedicated one-on-one support in the comfort of your own home. No doctor's offices, no pressure. Clearer hearing delivered right to your door. Join over 1 million happy customers hearing life more clearly. Visit audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
For all station contest rules, go to KDKARadio.com/rules.
For generations, you've listened to us in your kitchen, catching baseball games on your front porch, and ending your day as your bedtime buddy. Now, you can watch us every day on your TV with our new KDKA Radio YouTube page or by clicking on KDKARadio.com. It's presented by Metropolitan Windows. Same great content, more live visuals. The voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's 56 degrees at 12:30. I'm David Ballarado. Police are investigating a stabbing overnight on the south side. Police say a man called for them on the 1300 block of East Carson Street overnight to say that he had stabbed someone in self-defense. The victim was injured in his right cheek and taken to the hospital in stable condition. Iran state-run media says that nation has delivered a response to the latest U.S. points for a permanent settlement in the on-again-off-again conflict stalled recently by what happens in the Strait of Hormuz. On ABC's This Week, American United Nations Ambassador Mike Waltz explaining why President Trump has not resumed full-scale military operations.
It's not just the United States' position. We have had resolution after resolution for nearly 20 years with the entire world agreeing that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, that it has to subject itself to inspections.
The No Teens in Market Square policy is in effect. Teens must be accompanied by an adult from 3 to midnight Thursday through Sunday. This woman spoke to KDKA-TV.
I think it's definitely necessary. It keeps the community safe, and it allows adults and parents to know that their kids are safe as well, and just more control environment. It's really nice to be able to come out and see other kids enjoy without having a lot of yelling just everywhere.
Others said they questioned if this was the best strategy. KDKA Sports, the Pirates and the Giants will wrap up their series on the West Coast this afternoon. First pitch at 4:05. KDK Radio News Time, 12:31. I'm David Ballarado. Our next update at 1 on the Voice of Pittsburgh, News Radio KDKA.
In 1945, my grandparents made sausage using the finest ingredients and a lot of love. I'm Ernie Ritchie. After 80 years, the recipe never changed. Visit our store and celebrate our 80th anniversary. Ritchie's Italian Sausage. It's what Pittsburgh eats since 1945.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code MULTIPLY to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code MULTIPLY to borrow up to $10,000. Use code MULTIPLY to borrow up to $10,000.
Life is all about attitude and perspective. The old saying is the glass half full or half empty. Life will always throw curveballs, so how do we survive and actually thrive? This is Dr. Shufo from the Weight Loss and Wellness Center. Yes, I will get the weight off of you. That's a given. But I also find the root of the eating, and that's always emotional. It's actually weight loss therapy, and I know it works. People lose weight, feel better, and have lifelong tools. I want to help you. I really do. Call me 1-800-900-THIN.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Clouds with breaks of sun for the rest of this Mother's Day afternoon with a high of 64. Then for tonight, mostly cloudy, low 41. Partly sunny tomorrow on the cool side with a high of 61 for the afternoon. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Benz, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, we'll be back Monday. Yes, enjoy the weekend. I'll catch you Monday, 2 to 6. Can't wait to talk. Colin Dunlap, KDKA.
Now we get to talk about the NFL. Big news. He looked great at minicamp. Drew Aller. I'm waiting, I'm looking, I'm watching. I go, okay, what are you going to do next? Hut, hut. One pass. Okay, here we come. This is it. Hut, hut, pass. So he throws the ball 3 times, and right away,
he's done great. He's done fantastic, Rob. He's going to be the best quarterback since Billy Nelson.
Here's the other thing. Who's Billy Nelson? Anyway, I thought you were going to say Byron Nelson, the golfer. But anyway, the other thing, all these people, I don't want Aaron Rodgers. I'm sick of talking about Aaron Rodgers. Adam Crowley on The Fan does it. I follow up what he does. That goes viral. I've got more views than I got doing anything else. And I'm thinking to myself, for all of you that don't care about Aaron Rodgers, he still can, soon to be 43, make people want to talk football.
Well, it makes some people want to talk football. You're right. It's to me, it's like Groundhog Day. I can't stand the conversations about him. I'd rather see them turn the page and go with either of the rookies. Well, not the rookie. Howard is not a rookie, but in essence, a rookie, or Aller, just to shake something up. Give me something different. I don't want to go through another season just watching Aaron Rodgers and playing in slow motion and throwing to guys that are good receivers. That would be a lot more interesting if we had somebody running around and making life a little bit more entertaining.
Well, listen, whatever they do, it'll be okay, but I do like the physical size of these two guys. I really am excited about Aller being here, and it could pay big dividends, and I'd rather run it forward with these two. And if Aaron comes back, that's just icing on the cake, but I'm not going to hold my breath. But isn't it amazing how one guy can basically hold a league, not just the Steelers, hostage as he has done, even the press corps. People put up with whatever he wants to do, and it's Aaron Rodgers' world, and we're just a part of it. More power to him.
Well, I got to call you out on one. I know you hate when I do this, but I'm going to call you out on this one. You're excited about Drew Aller coming in here. Why? What did he show in college that makes you
He got hurt
excited?
in November. He didn't do anything. He has a horrible record against top 10 teams. I just like the physical
Other than
size.
that, Mrs. Lincoln, how'd you enjoy the play? Come on.
Listen, I like the physical size of both him and Will Howard. I still think youth and 6'5", 230 can throw the ball anywhere on the field. And they even asked Drew Aller about his.
He can't throw it everywhere on the field, but it's sometimes quite often to the guys in the wrong color.
I love the physical size, and you just don't like him because he played at Penn State.
That's correct.
Okay.
Let's
just tell it the way it is.
I will admit that.
No further questions. You can step down.
There has never been a good quality quarterback in the National Football League from Penn State.
Now they're talking.
Never
now
won.
there are two things. Mason Rudolph can be traded to Miami very soon. That's what the latest thing is. So I don't know anybody in the league who's trying to reset the bar at quarterback wouldn't be happy to have two guys under 25 with that kind of size, one who won a national championship and one who was a pretty good quarterback until that ankle went wrong. And remember, he had James Franklin, whose mind was somewhere else, and they're also saying that maybe they didn't have a chance to develop him. So I think right now, even though we haven't won anything, the Steelers' quarterback situation is better than it's been since Ben left.
James Franklin got run out of Penn State for I don't know why, because he's a very good football coach. And Andy Kotelnicki, who's everybody is acting like he's a horrible offense coordinator. 2 seasons ago, people were talking about him being one of the next up-and-coming NFL head coaches, not let alone offensive coordinator. They had one, not even a bad season, had 6 bad games that started off with an overtime game at Oregon. If they beat Oregon early in the season, that's a whole different season for Penn State. So people are a little bit misplaced in their criticism of the people that we were just talking about. They were playoff teams.
So have you seen this thing called Peyton's Places on ESPN? It's about Peyton Manning visiting different aspects and storylines of the National Football League.
No, I like Peyton, so I'll have to look at it.
He's really good. Could be the next commissioner. Remember where you heard it. So I'm up early this morning on the treadmill, yucking through another early morning workout before the sun comes up. And I'm channel surfing, and I see him and James Harrison, the former Steeler, who was, grew up loving the Cleveland Browns. So they talked about Paul Brown when he had won like 10 straight championships in the 50s, where the term taxi squad came from, because you being an NFL agent and for many years got those, those free agents who became members of the taxi squad, otherwise known as the practice squad, Hank Fraley and others who went on to do great things. Do you understand why they called it the taxi squad?
It has to do something with
taxi drivers.
There you go.
And the owner.
Not taking taxis, but driving. Being drivers, because you need, like somebody says the world needs bartenders, right?
Well, Paul Brown used to actually have them meet because he practiced every day at 1 o'clock because he thought it would be best to practice the time you play. And those taxi drivers would park their taxis and they would basically suit up and face his team. So thus, they weren't banged up. He had healthier players because they were up against these guys as opposed to hard-hitting, well-seasoned NFL players. So copycat league that it was, everybody wanted a taxi squad, and that's how that started. Now, that may not seem interesting to many people, but that was sure interesting to me.
That is. I love that derivation of where that came from.
There's more. The episode before that, because I put in a little extra early morning workout because I got up earlier than normal. Play calling as a quarterback. At one time, you forget this, quarterbacks called their own plays.
I do remember that because Bradshaw was a guy that called his own plays.
Yeah,
right?
And so for everybody who said that Bradshaw, if you spotted him C&T, couldn't spell cat, wrong. He was a great play caller, they said, back in the day.
Yeah, sure.
But they were talking about Johnny Unitas, a great play caller, another one, Joe Namath, and they were talking about how the whole basic thing as far as audio in the helmet started, Sam Weish and Boomer, Cincinnati. But the other thing that they started in Cincinnati, which I never knew and found it fascinating, the no-huddle offense in 1988. Once again, copycat league because Seattle had success with it.
Sam Weish used to call that the sugar huddle.
Yes.
They would,
Animated coach. And I also forgot how great Boomer Esiason was. As a quarterback, a stud quarterback. They got to the Super Bowl.
Which Boomer Esiason, I believe, when he was at Maryland, beat one of the really good Penn State football teams in a huge upset.
Well, you kind of lose sight of these things. And I know that they're bigger, stronger, and faster. And we're going to get into some of the things that are making news now. But you know why the NFL is so rich with history, because of the characters, the historic moments, and how it's not like Major League Baseball from the, 19th century. This is something that's happened over the last, 100 years or so. And we've really seen it grow into this multi-billion-dollar brand that they're going to be playing in even Australia this year. So there's something very satisfying about the NFL being a part of our culture in America.
But there was something more romantic about the old stories that you hear, the characters. That now if a guy gets drunk on a night before a game, they want to ostracize him and have him go to rehab for years and years and years. Bobby Lane used to get drunk every Saturday night before a Sunday game, and we just thought he was a character. It was something good. It was like the movie Bull Durham, where if you get fungus on your shower shoes, you can't do it in the minor leagues, but once you get to the big leagues, then it's a character.
Speaking of shower shoes and athletes and their feet, I saw a special we were talking about, and I love the guy. I mean, I do. LeBron James, I love him, I love him, I love him. And I still get pedicures from time to time. I will break into the piggy bank because, my dad even used to say, because he wore those steel-toed boots and worked in a steel mill, we used to call him the Fly because he used to get athletes' foot so bad he would just all night long he'd just be itching them one after another. So we used to
he needed Joni Bench's Absorbine Jr.
That's right. But I mean, they were horrible, and his toenails looked like the creature from the Dark Lagoon. So that's always been a fear of mine. But LeBron James, his toes, my God. What he spent supposedly $1 million on his body to stay in shape. I bet $750,000 on those feet.
Are they crooked or are they pretty?
He's got toes looking like his feet are on fire, and they're looking for the quickest exit out of the room. But it just goes to show you the punishment that these athletes take, like their feet. You just don't realize, even those expensive shoes that they wear and all the equipment and the trainers, their bodies get beat to the ground over and over. And, you think about like Johnny U back in the day getting slammed to the turf. Some of those hits James Harrison put on people. He was cut twice by the Steelers and went on to become Defensive Player of the Year, the longest return of an interception or a fumble in a Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, so there's just so many great stories in sports that sometimes it's nice to see things that are connected to it because of something as strange as somebody's feet that are mangled from playing the game, or this whole taxi squad thing and how it began. But do you realize, because of what Paul Brown did, how many wannabes became NFL players and you've seen it firsthand, like Hank Fraley, who's gone on to have incredible careers and get a big fat pension and make millions of dollars. So it's just nice to see certain dreams come true.
It is, and those guys are the fun guys to work with. All of our clients are fun to work with, but there's a special appreciation you get with a guy that maybe is in a 7th-round pick or an undrafted free agent, or has to work his way through. Look at the story behind Christian Kuntz at the Steelers. He wasn't even a long snapper at Duquesne, but he taught himself to be a long snapper. He thought he could make it as a linebacker and believed that he could, and he went through playing in arena leagues and every league that you could think of. Other than the California State Penal League. But he did everything he could to figure out a way to get onto an actual NFL roster, and now he's probably one of the premier long snappers in the National Football League. It's guys that just won't take no for an answer, and those are fun guys.
All right, take a short break. We'll come back and a little bit more football, and we'll wrap it up. Coons Market, Black and Gold Sunday Show.
When you need to know, depend on the news leader. At home, in your car, or at work. The voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM, AM 1020, and KDKA-radio.com.
Andy Amrine here for Harmony Garden Organic Insect Control. This is not your average garden variety insect killer. Harmony is your only insect control you need for your garden. Nothing is safer, nothing works better than Harmony. Spray your trees, flowers, plants to kill garden pests including aphids, green fruit worms, mites, soil lice, and russets. To get your bottle of Harmony, ask for it at any participating True Value hardware store or online at harmonyoic.com.
Tickets are on sale now for the upcoming season of the Pittsburgh Speakers Series at Heinz Hall, presented by University of Pittsburgh, with Anderson Cooper, former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, historian Anne Applebaum, financial journalist Andrew Ross Sorkin, former NASA Administrator Charles Bolton, and acclaimed war photographer Lindsay Addario. For information and tickets, go to pittsburghspeakers.org. Sponsored by News Radio KDKA and the Spanos Group of Raymond James.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off. That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Shell.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, so Coach McCarthy, why is he the right man for the job right now? Go ahead.
Because he fits the talent that they have. They are not starting from scratch. They looked to a guy that is a not a build from the ground up guy, but a guy who can navigate through those waters of having a veteran football team, put a couple of pieces in place, and be a team that can be good enough, maybe not to win the Super Bowl, but certainly compete in the AFC North. And all you have to do is qualify for the tournament. You get in the playoffs, you just never know.
Well, I think Steeler fans are at the point they want to win one more than just the one they lose, that first playoff game. I just think people want to prove that there is not some sort of jinx that we can get over that hump. And if we do that, even if we get in as a wild card or whatever, even if we don't win the division, I think people will be happy. But is he a bridge coach or is he a 10-year long-term coach?
Well, I think he's somewhat in between. I think he's probably a 5 to 8 year guy that, you see what happens from there. He's not a guy that's just going to be here a year or two. I think you're certainly going to, see him, navigate these waters and be a guy that's going to be here for, obviously he eventually ages out, but I don't think he ages out tomorrow.
So this whole left tackle, right tackle situation, do you think that decision will be made early on at camp, whether or not Broderick Jones is the guy or Mad Max becomes the guy?
Well, to a certain extent, the decision is going to be made as if he's hurt or not. If he's 100% healthy at the start of camp, I think he gets plugged in as the left tackle, and that Ahonichu becomes basically the swing guy and doesn't see the field unless one of those two guys gets hurt.
Who's the featured tight end this year catching the football?
Freiermuth.
Still?
Yeah. Okay. Freiermuth will be the guy, but Mount Washington's going to see the rock a lot.
All right, Bernard's role, the man out of Alabama, could he compete for the second receiver?
Jeremy Bernard? Jeremy Bernard. I don't think so. I think that he is the number 3. I mean, Pitt is going to be the guy that they plug in as the 2, and DK's number 1. But there's no harm in being a number 3 because in most situations there are 3 receivers on the field.
Heidenreich, I'm starting to feel like he may make this team, and I don't know why I didn't think that when he got drafted. But and I know you're the agent, and you've seen it, and maybe you doubted it too. But there's something that tells me he's going to make this team.
If there's a way to make it, he'll make it. He's got that mental makeup that's going to do everything he can to win that spot. But I just don't know that this roster is big enough that there were enough places, enough spots to actually make it on the opening day roster. That doesn't mean that he doesn't, slide through to the practice squad. Maybe somebody claims him on waivers, or he slides through. He's on the practice squad and then gets activated, as the season goes on.
So if Rodgers just doesn't work out, was it a waste of time for the Steelers on what they did, and has it slowed the process down from becoming a contender to a possible championship team?
No, I felt like last year was definitely worth a shot. I feel like this year is less like having a good shot because we want to see what the 2 young guys have to determine, do we need to play or figure out a trade for next year for this upcoming draft class that's supposed to be really good. But how good is it supposed to be when we're looking at the kid from South Carolina that if if we were looking at him, well, he should have come out this year then.
Yeah, I'm not looking at him. The only one I'm looking for, and you said it appropriately a couple of weeks ago, Arch Manning, but he hasn't proven anything yet. So he's got to do something in college before he gets the opportunity to even be considered a top draft pick.
But he came on a little bit at the second half of last season,
and he
almost
beat Ohio State, so it's not like the season was a loss. But we're just going to have to see how that thing. And they'd really have to be upside down to get that opportunity.
They're not going to get high enough to get to him.
So do you just not believe that a Will Howard, and we're not going to talk Drew Aller because he doesn't have that national championship part of his resume. You don't think he could get hot and come close to what Ben did early on in his career?
No, I say I'd rather see that than see a recycled Aaron Rodgers, just the same old story. I'd rather see a Will Howard at the helm for the entire season and put up or shut up. Then we know. Otherwise, he just languishes there for a long period of time and never becomes a starter.
Listen, we never know who's talking or texting, and believe me, they do, and it's just not when he rolls into town supposedly this weekend. Oh, for the first time, how have you been? What's going on? And sign on the dotted line. They're saying for $15 million this year as opposed to $10 million last year. But, he liked Mason Rudolph a lot. He really, really did. I just hope he doesn't stop Mason Rudolph with his team. If Mason says, I just want to stay here if I'm going to be a backup, from letting the Steelers send him to Miami or wherever to get an opportunity to maybe add to their roster. But if Will Howard gets an opportunity and if Rodgers isn't playing well, first off, will they make the decision to sit Aaron Rodgers midway through the season? And will Howard maybe get the opportunity? If he shines, he stays there. Could they actually, if need be, bench Aaron Rodgers?
I would be really shocked to see that happen. The only way you see Rodgers being moved aside is through injury, and it's amazing he went through the entire season last year, without any major injuries. And I don't wish that on anyone, but I think that's the only way you don't see him as the starting quarterback this year.
So when you look at the coaching staff that he put together, he's got some really good football minds on this staff. So he still knows where to go to pick the best from the garden of upcoming young football minds. He's got some good people on this staff.
Yeah, he brought some of those guys with him from where he was. But Brian Angelico as his offensive coordinator, now that's the thing. You don't know
Mike
how
will
much
be calling most of those, right?
Yeah, how much so he'll be calling his own plays, but you still have Angelico, who's really a very highly regarded football coach. And we'll see how much he gets to cut his teeth and make his own statement. And maybe McCarthy realizes how good he is and gives him more of an opportunity to put his own mark on the team.
The biggest improvement I expect this year from this team because of the coaching, defense. Defense should be hopefully better this year.
Well, we're going to find out pretty early with what they can do, but we're going to see how often how much do they keep Hayward in the mix? Do they start to move him aside with some of the big horses that they brought in last year with Y.A. Black and Harmon, and how much more do they play? And if they do, and start to give Hayward a little bit more of a break, and maybe that makes him more effective if he's not having to play as many plays as he does. But he's like one of those guys that's a pitcher. He like warms up, and after he's played 30 plays, he starts to get more effective and better.
All right, last thing. Your mom's been gone a couple of years. I know how much she meant to you. Your beloved dad is still here. Just some thoughts about your mom.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. And, Stan Savran used to do the wonderful tribute to his mother on TV every year. And, I miss Mom a lot. I think about her a lot. I always go back to one of my favorite stories about her was she and my dad used to take us up to Shenley Oval and pitch to us. And my mom wasn't the greatest athlete, but she tried. And I was probably 5 or 6 years old, and she's throwing baseball to me, and she's pitching to me, and she hit me with a pitch. And I often laugh about the fact that I threw a tantrum. Oh, you hit me, I can't believe you would hurt me. You did all that stuff. And I always think she should have said, well, you were crowding the plate. But
listen, my dad did the same thing, and I said, you did that on purpose. He goes, that's the only thing you've ever been right about in your life. Greg Diolis, to your lovely bride and your mother-in-law, where you're going to be with her today. Happy Mom's Day.
Thank you very much. I will pass it along.
All right, stay tuned. News at 1. I'm going to get a little shut-eye, and we're going to do it again tomorrow night. Enjoy the rest of your Mother's Day from your Pratt Pack and KDKA.
Spring is showing up and showing out. Give your yard its own moment with limited time deals from Lowe's. Grab select 1.5-gallon annuals hanging baskets, 2 for only $15. Plus, we've got Miracle-Gro 0.75 cubic foot garden soil, 5 bags for just $10. A little dirt, a little color, and we are so back. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid 5/7 through 5/13. Selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. People often ask me why our mattresses last so long. The answer is simple: we build them right. Not only are OMF mattresses durable, they give you peace of mind from day one. When you invest in a mattress from OMF, you're investing in better sleep tonight and smart savings for years to come. No more frequent replacements, no more wasted time shopping. To learn more about the true value of durability, visit originalmattress.com and read our latest blog on getting the most from your mattress investment.
At the Original Mattress Factory, we know that convenience is key. That's why we've made mattress shopping simple and stress-free. Shop in-store or online, whatever works best for you. No high-pressure sales tactics or fake promotions. Our prices are clearly marked, and we openly compare our products to other brands. With our streamlined selection, you won't be overwhelmed by duplicate options, and our 365-day comfort policy provides for peace of mind. Experience the ease of buying factory direct. Visit OMF today for better sleep tonight.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA, covered by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 platinum roofing company.
I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know, taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's 56 degrees at 1 o'clock. I'm David Colorado. A rally is scheduled to get underway at this hour on the south side to call for paid family leave for all workers in Allegheny County. One of those attending, UPMC McGee neonatal nurse Lucy Ruscio says they're willing to be flexible on how this would work.
So we're asking the county government to pass legislation. We're still working with them and with the community to get the exact details of what's going to work best for Allegheny County. So there'll be a lot of opportunities for community input, and we're really looking forward to that.
They plan to head out into the community to gather signatures after the rally, which is taking place at the Pittsburgh Federation of Teachers Local 400. That's the sound of crews putting out a vehicle fire this morning in Millvale. The Cherry City Volunteer Fire Company posting that video of members extinguishing the fire on the side of Evergreen Avenue ramp. No one was injured. The impact of last month's freeze is being felt by farmers all over Pennsylvania after overnight lows in the teens left behind widespread crop damage. Governor Shapiro is asking the federal government for a disaster declaration so affected farmers can file for crop insurance protection. And he's working with the state government to use part of the $75 million in the avian flu fund to help.
We're going to fight to make sure that all of this gets done. The USDA disaster declaration, the direct support from the feds, the direct support from the state. We're going to work together to get all this done. And we'll be back, Corey, and we'll be stronger than ever.
He's speaking to Cherry Hill Orchards owner Corey McLeave, who has lost almost all of his apple and peach crops for this year. AP correspondent Julie Walker reports that evacuations of passengers from a hantavirus-stricken cruise ship have begun in Spain.
The evacuation of passengers from a cruise ship stricken with hantavirus underway in Tenerife, the Canary Islands. Workers in full hazmat suits seen on the docks. The first group flown to Madrid for quarantine. 17 U.S. passengers will head to the National Quarantine Center in Nebraska. Hantavirus usually spreads from inhaling contaminated rodent droppings and not from person to person. But the cruise ship Andes virus may be able to spread between people in rare cases. Still, WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus says this is not COVID.
We have been repeating the same answer many times. This is not another COVID. And the risk to the public is low.
He made those comments at the cruise ship. 3 people have died since the outbreak. 5 passengers who left the ship are infected. I'm Julie Walker.
How is the crackdown on teens in Market Square going? KDKA-TV's Ricky Saylor checked it out last night.
Well, before the rain started falling, we still did have a good number of people here in Market Square, but we did not see a whole lot of kids, certainly no big groups of kids. But that's not to say we did not see kids who are unaccompanied here in Market Square. The official rules that if you are under 18, that you must be with an adult. From what we've observed, they've at least been allowed, for instance, to walk through the square, go to Chipotle or Moe's, things like that.
KDK Sports' early games are set to get underway shortly across the majors this afternoon. The Pirates will have a little longer to wait in San Francisco. Bubba Chandler gets the start against the Giants, with first pitch coming up later today at 4:05 our time. It's 1:03. The AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So, yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds, too. Get a quote right now at 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
For the rest of this Mother's Day afternoon, clouds with breaks of sun, high of 64 degrees. And for tonight, becoming mostly cloudy, low 41. Tomorrow, partly sunny. Cool for May, a high of just 61 degrees. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Benz, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.